Hey folks, Brendan here from Bluelight, and if you are a serving police officer and you're looking to get promoted in the future, either PC to sergeant, sergeant to inspector or beyond, then this video is for you. Why? Because over the past several months, actually more than that, for the past 26 years, I've been coaching and supporting people to succeed in the police promotion process. But over the past several months, I've been coaching a cohort through the In-Force Advancement Group. You can find out how to join that group below, where we've been practicing the skills that are needed to make sure that they completely ace their promotion boards. We try and do those once a week, sometimes it's once every fortnight. It's difficult trying to find enough hours in the day, but huge amount of success have come out of that so far. I don't think there's one person that's failed their board. No, not one. Every person who has taken part in those interactive webinars, those practice sessions, has passed. So that's PC to sergeant. I think the majority of sergeant to inspector have passed. I know of 2 who failed, but it starts getting harder when you start getting further up the ranks. Anyway, they're going to give it another go, because just because you failed once doesn't mean to say you're going to fail every time. Anyway, 3 things I thought I'd talk to you about, because these are things that just crop up all the time and time again. So the first one is role, especially for PC to sergeant. So one of the things that you need to be able to appreciate and really get your head around is what the role of a sergeant actually involves. Because for so many of you, when we're doing our practice interview questions, you're giving me an answer which tells me how awesome you are as a constable, how brilliant you are as a firearms officer, how fantastic you are in the road policing unit, how you're a fantastic, amazing detective. But you're not being assessed to get your own job, are you? You're not being assessed to get the role that you're currently in. You're being assessed against your ability, your future capability to be an awesome sergeant. And so one of the things that you've got to get your head in the game around is making sure that you're focusing on what's required of an awesome sergeant. So I made a few quick notes just a moment ago, what I could have made them based on my own experience as a sergeant, my own experience as an inspector. But I thought I'd go straight to the College of Policing website, and what they've got on there makes perfect sense, that as a sergeant, you're there to support others, enable the competence of others in the team, coordinate activities, take a step back at times, supervise the team, but that's not just about directing people at the scene of emergencies. It's about well-being, welfare, development, motivation, problem solving with others, collaborating with partner agencies, managing risk, and supporting the development of others. There's more, but those were just a few key things that came out. And if you're a constable at the moment, you're not doing a lot of those things, are you? You're not. You're really not. You're not doing a lot of those things. So if you've not had the opportunity to go acting, then you need to start thinking about putting yourself in situations where you can develop those behaviors, develop those competencies, so that when you go to your interview, you'll be able to give examples not about how awesome you are as a constable, but how awesome you're going to be as a sergeant. If you're in an acting position, then don't just go with the flow. You've got this acting position maybe for a few months. It's your opportunity to really get stuck in, not making changes for change's sake, because as an inspector, that's one of the first things I used to say to my acting sergeants when they arrived is, no, anything that you're going to do, you need to do it because it's needed, not because you need to tick it off on some tick box approach to getting promoted and getting your stripes. Which leads me to, hopefully that makes sense for you, which leads me to this part here, authenticity. So one of the things that happens in my one-to-one coaching sessions and in the webinars that we run through the In-Force Advancement Group, like I said, you can check the links below to find out more about those. And also the Facebook groups which you can join. One of them is part of the In-Force Advancement Group, but the other one is open to all police officers, and there's a link below for that one. But one of the things that happens is I'll be talking to one of my clients about the reasons why they want to get promoted, the sort of things they're doing at the moment to develop themselves, to push themselves to the point where they're going to be deemed an awesome potential for sergeant by the superintendent that's interviewing them. And they're talking just like I'm talking now. They seem motivated, enthusiastic, seem very capable, and they can talk from their heart. And then I'll ask them a question. Can you tell me about a time when you have supported the development of another person? In my role as and they just turn into an utter robot, and they start using a load of big words from the competency and values framework, and they start uttering utter garbage, actually, if I'm honest. Buzzwords start getting thrown in there, and they become someone else. They become someone completely different. They are, invariably they'll say this. I'll say, so what happened there? You seem to become, I don't know, just tell me what happened. And once we explore it, they'll say things like, well, I was putting myself forward in a way that I thought the interviewers would want to see me and listen to me. I wanted to be what I thought they wanted to hear. And it's not the case. I can promise you this, folks. I can promise you this. They're looking for authenticity. So don't start talking like a... don't start talking like a... No. When you are delivering your interview answer. You need to stay the person you are. It's authenticity that's needed. Because the board members, they've been in your shoes. They're superintendents, chief inspectors, maybe an inspector. They've been in your shoes. They know what it's like. And they know utter drivel BS when they hear it. They know competency bibble babble when they hear it. Come on, frankly, is that what they're looking for? Think about the superintendents and inspectors and chief inspectors you know. All right, they might use some big words sometimes, but are they really looking for that? Or are they looking for the sort of person who they can have faith in, that they can be driving to work at 7 o'clock in the morning thinking, I've not checked the night write-up, but Sergeant Jones was on last night and she's pretty awesome. She's a safe pair of hands. So no matter what's happened, I know I'm not going into a storm, SH1T storm. That's what they're looking for. They're looking for someone who is going to be able to hold the line when everything's going pear-shaped, that can keep the team together, that's going to make sure that when the wheel does start coming off, they can start putting it back on again, even though it's still a bit wobbly, the wheel's still on. That's what they're looking for, folks. They're not looking for someone who can spout off a load of CVFs. Come on, let's get authentic. But one of the things that is needed, okay, you've got to be authentic, but you've got to be authentic in a structured and detailed way. So that's the third thing, structure and detail. And that's the thing that is missing most of the time in your sample answers when we're doing our coaching, is the structure, a structured approach to each one of your answers. So you're delivering something that is going to resonate with the interviewer in terms of that structured approach. And detail, it's the detail that's missing so much, and it's the detail that's going to get you the pass, all the way down to the types of questions that you might have asked someone, why you asked those questions, how you listened carefully to them, how you adapted your approach because suddenly they flared up and became a bit angry with you about something. And that's one of your constables. Structure, so important, and especially when it comes to forward-facing questions, where we look at an adaptation of the Sinex circles. So we talk about why something was important, then we talk about how we will actually deliver that thing that's important in a structured way, using the structure that we'd use for rear-facing questions or adapting that one, and then we talk about what, when that is done, what it will deliver for the police service, for individuals within the police, for teams within the police, and more importantly for the partners that we work with, and even more importantly for the communities that we're a part of. So there you go, folks. 3 little top tips, 3 things that are consistently a problem, but things that you can work on, to ensure that you completely nail your board. It's competitive, folks, even though there's a lot of sergeants needed for all of the new recruits that have been coming in over the past 2 years. It's still competitive. I know it is, because I'm working with so many of you, but I want to make sure that you succeed. And it isn't about really about your future ability to be a sergeant. It's about how you get that future ability across the table to those people who are going to sign you off, who are assessing you during that all-important 1 hour of your life. Whether you think that's a good idea or not, whether you think it's the best thing, best approach to developing and selecting sergeants, doesn't really matter, does it? Because the golden rule applies. Those who hold the gold make the rules. So we've just got to play by the rules. All right, folks. Well, listen, I hope you found that useful. If you'd like to find out more information about those services I talked about before, then they're in the links below. And I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye for now.